Hello, viewers, and welcome to another exciting time right here on Reading Room on Freedom Square TV. My name is Lilian Ezinwa, and I'm super excited to know that you're tuned in this day. And today promises to be interesting. I love saying that, and that's because of how important our conversations has always been and the kind of guest that we have on the show. So this program is a program where we explore the power of reading and how it shapes lives. And that's not all, how it also shapes careers and society. And of course, today our topic is reading as a mass communication student, building the voice behind the story. You know, when you hear about mass communication, those in mass communication department will say, we are the voice. We are the people you get to see on your TV, you get to hear on your radio, you get to read our scripts on the different channels. So we are number one, right? Okay, so today we'll get to find out if truly mass communication students are number one or they are just bluffing. So mass communication is more than speaking on radio, appearing on television, or writing news stories. Behind every great communicator is actually a dedicated reader. What it means basically is, for you to be a good mass communication student, you must cultivate the habit of reading. And that's why this conversation is going to be very, very interesting, because as a mass communication student, you need to listen. As somebody who wants to go into the mass communication department, when you finally write JAM, you want to study mass communication in the university, you also need to listen. Even if you want to, you'll be in the polytechnic, okay, or you want it as a second degree, you also need to listen. So joining me today in the studio is a student from the Department of Mass Communication of the Enugu State University of Science and Technology, ESUT. And when she says her name, now a lot of people be wondering, Lilian, you brought somebody to the studio. Well, don't worry, you know now. All right, so with me, we have Miss Amara. So Miss Amara, how you doing?
I'm fine. Hi, my name is Ezinwa Amara Precious, a 200 level mass communication student of Enugu State University and Technology.
Okay, so you're welcome. Want to thank you for coming, and we just hope that at the end of today, a lot of people who would love to study mass communication and those who are already studying mass communication will be blessed listening to you. Okay, so let's start with the beginning, right? Tell us your story, how you tend to study mass communication. Was this something, I remember off record, I was asking you, is it just because maybe they didn't give you admission in your desired course, or it was something you willingly wanted to study in school? So let's hear your story.
Okay, mass communication was something I really wanted to study in school. Even during secondary school, when we were divided into arts and science, I always wanted to be a mass communicator today, because they always tend to tell me that I am good at talking, I'm good at communicating, and I didn't really have any other options. I didn't have a desire to do law or theater arts. Mass communication was my only option, and I'm glad I'm in it.
Okay, actually I've met a lot of mass communication students, and it's just a few of them that will tell you that they are glad they are in it. A lot of them will say, I wanted to be a lawyer, I wanted to study theater arts, and they didn't give me admission. So the only option was for me to go into mass communication department. So it's glad to know that this is something you prepared your mind to study, and you're already in your second year, which is quite interesting. So as a mass communication student, why is reading important?
Okay, reading is very important because mass communication is a course built around information, communicating, and understanding society at large. As a mass communication student, I gain knowledge. I've been able to speak very well. I've been able to write very well, and I've also been able to gain knowledge about, the media space.
Okay, so basically reading actually helped you in getting all the skills that you talked about.
Yes.
So many students see reading as preparation only for examinations. So I don't know if you agree with this assertion, or is something that's okay. Growing up, how was it like for you? Were you always reading for examination, or were you reading because I need to gain that knowledge, not because of now but for tomorrow?
Okay, then I don't completely agree with the assertion, because during my secondary school, I won't lie, I do read for just passing my exams. But gaining admission, I had, people around me who like encouraged me that reading isn't something that you just want to use to like pass tests. Even our lecturer would tell us that read my course not just to pass exam, but because it's going to help you in the future. So many students, yes, reading might help you pass exam, but you will miss out on valuable knowledge that might shape your future someday. So yeah, reading really helps, not just for examination.
Okay, so how does reading specifically benefit mass communication students?
For mass communication students, reading helps us gain knowledge about things happening around us. Reading helps us write better. Reading helps us be informed, because if we're not informed, we might not even know what is going on around us. Reading helps us gain confidence, and reading helps us in our critical skills in the media space.
Okay, so can someone become a good journalist without reading regularly, from your thoughts as a 200 level student of mass communication?
In my experience, I don't think so. It's going to be hard, because journalism involves gathering, analyzing, and communicating information. So someone who wants to be a good journalist needs to like have reading as an habit, because he or she may struggle with staying informed, asking meaningful questions, and knowing what is happening around him or her.
Okay, so basically, just like you said, journalism depends on information.
Yes.
And if you don't read, and when we talk about reading, we're talking about if you don't read newspapers, you don't read books, articles, reports, and online publications, you definitely struggle to produce quality content.
Definitely.
Okay, so that brings me to, let's go personal right now. So tell us about your reading journey. I know you did say that prior before university, you used to read just for exam.
I used
so that when you know exam is in 2 weeks, you bring out your textbooks, your exercise books, and you start reading. But getting into the university, that changed. So can you tell us how it's changed? What happened? Is it a personal decision? I know you said it's because of people around you, but yeah, people around you are the first person who say people around them influence them. So people tell you that, see, nobody can influence me, right? So can you tell us your journey, your reading journey?
Okay, like I said before, I started reading like intensively when I gained admission, because in my first semester, there are students who have this natural intelligence, like they can read like 2 hours before exam, and when they get to exam, or they will like write well, and I fall into that category. But during my first semester exam, I thought that natural intelligence was going to help me, but it did not. And that was when I took reading very seriously. I built routines, I built habits, and yes, I could say for a fact that reading has really helped me, because now I'm self-disciplined. I have time where I get to read, and I make sure to reduce distraction. So my reading journey has been quite fair.
Okay, when you talk about reduce distraction, I want you to expatiate more on that, because this distraction, what kind of distraction?
Especially your phone. Like our phone is our biggest distraction as students. So whenever I'm reading, I make sure my phone is very far away from me, like off my data. If I have to off my phone completely, I do that.
That's interesting. So what types of materials do you read?
Okay, I read mass communication related books. I read personal development books. I read articles, news stories, both online, newspapers, because in our department we're always asked to like read newspapers weekly, so it has become like part of us. So we read newspaper weekly. So yeah, that's most of the articles I do read. And also I read content on the media space. I read topics, content on lifestyles, media, and topics that can help me become a better communicator.
Okay, so many students complain about distractions, which is what you said, from social media, and you've actually concurred to the fact that you have to send your phone far away, which is good. But some people will tell you, they get information. You said you also get information from there, right? So what advice would you give to students like you and prospective mass communication students struggling to develop reading habit? Because you started one, you had a routine, and it's been working for you. When you started, you probably were reading for exam when you entered school, and then you found out that this one not going to help me, and you changed. So how did that happen, and what would be your advice to struggling students?
Okay, first of all, for social media, social media has its benefits and disadvantage, but I feel like social media is never the problem, it's how we use it. So, and many students actually, use their time on content from social media, like entertaining content especially, and they really find it hard to have time for reading. So I think it's like balance. The key factor of discipline is how you discipline yourself. And for those that have been like struggling to read, I would advise that you start small. Like you can set a routine for reading 10 to 25 minutes daily. It's just consistency. When you're consistent in something, it becomes an habit, it becomes part of you, and you develop and start reading like 2 hours max.
Can reading change a person's future?
Definitely. Reading can, even our successful people, successful businessmen, when you hear them on TV or broadcast being asked questions, they tell you, oh, this book changed their mindset, oh, this book changed their approach in life, oh, this book helped them become who they are now. So I think when you read, you gain knowledge, and knowledge opens doors to opportunities.
When you read, you gain knowledge, and knowledge opens doors for opportunities.
Yes.
That's a big one. So I would need you, we're getting into the quick fire questions now, so I would need you to tell us one book that every student should read. It might not be really the title of the book, but at least a book that has a message. What kind of message should every student read?
Okay, this book I will recommend first is called The Atomic Habits. It teaches you on personal development, and it helps you like build good habits and break the bad ones. That was the first book I read in secondary school, like the first 3 books apart from novels, like they shared it in our school then. So that was like, I would really recommend that book because it teaches you on things that you may feel, oh, it's not really necessary, or habits that you really need if you really want to succeed or grow as a student.
Okay, so where is the best place to read?
For many students, they will surely say a library. So you can read in a library, you can read in a study room, or anywhere that is like private in your home. You don't have to like go out to like read, but you can just read at home in a private or peaceful corner.
Okay, so yes. What kind of books do you read? When I mean what kind of books, I mean, do you read hard copy or soft copy? So what do you prefer?
I prefer physical books. Not that digital books are bad, they are very good, like it's very accessible and convenient, but for focus and for me to like not get distracted, I like reading physical books.
Okay, all right, so one word to describe reading.
Transformative.
Okay.
Yes.
So book transforms one.
Yes, if you turn it into an habit, I'm telling you, you're going to like see how well you improve.
Okay, so before we round up, because this program is called Reading Room and it's on Freedom Square TV, so what will be your final message for students? I mean, students, not only mass communication students, all students out there who will be watching this program or who are watching this program as we speak. So what will be your general message to them?
Okay, from a student to a student, I would say just develop the habit of reading. I know sometimes because we have short attention span, reading might be really difficult. You might just open a page and you're already getting tired. But when you know what you want in life, when you know where the place you want to be in life, I would advise you to read. It does not have to be like big books. You can read a chapter every day. You can read articles. Even on the social media that you are on, there's educational content. You can also engage in that. And for mass communication students who also want to grow, get into media space, I would advise you read, news articles, news stories, write, because reading helps you write better. If you know how to read, or if you read daily, you get to write better, and it's gives you this confidence because you are informed and you can pass information.
Okay, so which space would you feel comfortable in, radio or TV?
TV.
Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Amara, for
Thank
joining us
you.
today. But before we go, one of the things I make out for what she has said is that reading is not punishment. Okay, so when your parents say go into the room and read, it's not this, they're not trying to punish you. It's actually for empowerment purpose. And the more you read, the more you will definitely know, and the more you know, the more opportunities you will create for yourself. Okay, so you see, it's all about you, it's not about the other person. So every student should actually make reading a daily habit, and it's important. So I want to thank you, Miss Amara, for joining us today.
Thank you for
And
having me.
reading remains one of the most powerful tools for personal growth, academic success, and career development. And remember, I actually penned this one down: readers become thinkers, thinkers become leaders, and leaders change the story. I'll say that again: readers become thinkers, thinkers become leaders, and leaders change the world. Okay, so thank you so much for watching Reading Room on Freedom Square TV. Like I always say, if you would love for us to come and set up a library in your school, or you want to get books, you can contact the number that will be displayed on your screen. And remember to always follow Freedom Square TV live on all social media platforms using the handles displayed on the screen as well. So thank you so much. My name is Lilian Ezinwa, and thanks to Amarachi Precious Ezinwa for joining us today. I'm wishing you a productive week filled with learning and discovery. Bye.
Bye.